Hey, everybody, welcome to Dead in Sports. I am, or will be, your host tonight, Mr. Ken. I am changing my name. I think I'm going to change my name from King to Mr. Ken. Ran into a student, shout out to Tristan at Morehouse when I went to their homecoming game this weekend. They played Fort Valley State. Fort Valley ended up winning that game 24-16. So big shout out to them. And one of the Tristan actually, who was in the band, said he's a big fan of the show. All I heard was Mr. Ken, and I looked around because most of the students where I work at call me or refer to me as Mr. Ken. So I think it fits. I think I may end up going with that. As you may have noticed, I am flying solo right now. Q is on his way, and FIFO is on his way as well. And B said he was going to be 15 to 20 minutes late. So I don't want to keep you guys waiting much longer, so I decided to go ahead and kick the show off. Q should actually be signing on any minute now. I already sent him the leak. He's in the process of setting up. Right now, the World Series is in action, and the Cubs, Addison Russell just hit a grand slam and broke that game wide open. Like, they're up 7-0 over the Cleveland Indians, and you have to wonder at some point if they go on to lose this game, will doubt creep in? Are we witnessing the baseball version of the Golden State Warriors? Because Cleveland has home field advantage. Yeah, Game 7 is at home, and for all intents, and Clubber's pitching, and Clubber has been lights out this whole postseason, and he's practically owned the Cubs since the World Series started. So you have to wonder if they don't come back in this game, if they don't come back to at least make a game of it, at some point will they start to kind of wonder whether or not they can finish the deal. Because when Clubber comes back, Clubber is pitching on 3 days rest for the third time in this postseason, in this World Series. So how fatigued will he be? And when you're the best team, like the Cubs have been pretty much all year long, you also have, they are extremely confident. They just haven't been hitting the whole series. And in the game, they lost 1-0. They had a guy on second and third. They just couldn't get the hit. They just couldn't get the big hit that they needed. And they'll be setting the game up for Kyle Hendricks, who has been pretty good as well in the postseason, who was shaky in his first start. The Indians, to their credit, kept a lot of pressure on him that whole game, and eventually they got him out of the game. But after he pretty much, got that out of his system, he may come out and he may match Clubber, inning for inning, putting up donuts. So that's something to watch. But definitely it's been an exciting World Series. If you guys haven't watched it, catch some of the highlights. Every game has been really, 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 really intense. And I have the Cubs winning this in 6. And if they win it, of course, obviously now they're going to have to do it in 7. But, for those of you that watch that show, you'll know that my formula for them getting 2-6 or beating the Cleveland Indians was, look, you're not going to beat Clubber, and that hasn't happened in 2 of his starts. But I thought they can get Bauer. They got him twice. And I thought they can get Tomlin. And I thought they actually would get Tomlin in Game 3, but they didn't. But they got him tonight. So here we are. So we'll see what happens. It's still a long way to go in baseball. And for those of you that follow baseball, it's a bit of an odd sport. Anybody can get in trouble at any given moment. And next thing you know, it's a 7-6 lead, or you give up a 4 spot and then you're in a battle. So, but Jake Arrieta on the mound tonight should fare well. And I think he's going to go out there and do what needs to be done. So anyway, hopefully B will be showing up in a few seconds. I'm going to go through the earlier game today. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it, but before this game, before I actually got on the show, the Rockets and Cleveland were playing, and they actually moved that game up an hour so fans can go watch the Indians right now lose. And It was a really, really entertaining game. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers were challenged for pretty much the whole game. It was a 1-point game heading into the fourth quarter, and down the stretch, LeBron basically put his stamp on the game, and not necessarily in scoring, because I think Kyrie hit some huge shots, and he hit a dagger 3-pointer in front of Eric Gordon's face, but just key rebounds, stops, here and there, just some of the passes that he made, just his overall impact on the game, I thought was really, really dope and impressive to watch. But one of the things I want to talk about that I saw in that game, and it happened twice, and James Harden had a tremendous game. He had 41, 7 rebounds, and like 14 assists, something like that. But anyway, there's a move that Harden does when he's going to the lane to basically get initiate a foul. So what he does is that if the defender comes in close on him, he'll make his move to drive to the basket, and he'll take his left arm or the right arm. The 2 times I've seen it was with his left arm, and he'll hook the defender's arm, and then he'll go into a shooting motion. So, and the referees fall for this every time. And I'm curious, when I'm sitting there watching this, and LeBron pointed it out, and I'm sure at some point, Tyronn Lue or somebody has to send over tape to the referees to take a look at that. Like, how do you officiate that, for one? And 2, how long will they continue to let him get away with that move? I mean, and I think it's real crafty by him to do that, but is that an offensive foul on him, or is that still contact and a foul on the defender? So I don't know. When I saw it, it seemed a little shifty to me, but it worked. And I got to talk about Harden's play actually also, because he's playing really, really under control so far this year. I mean, he only had 1 turnover tonight. Now, he's been turning the ball over left and right, but as the point guard, unless you're John Stockton, he's not, or Chris Paul, he's not. You can expect a lot of high turnovers, but for the most part tonight, it was very controlled. He's controlling the flow of the game. He's getting people involved, because tonight he had like 14 assists. In the opening game, he had 17 assists. So Harden, for the most part, is playing really, really, really well right now. Give me just a second. Let me check on Q, because he should have been up now. He probably has the Windows, and it takes them about 30 minutes to boot up. But anyway, and then I also hit B up too and see where he's at. But yeah, man. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. So I'll go into just a quick second some of the topics that we have coming for you guys tonight. While I'm doing that, I was talking to B earlier today about possibly going back to Blog Talk Radio, and I don't know, it was just something that last week I kind of gave some consideration to and some thought, because one of the things that we liked about the show, and that some of you guys liked about the show as well, is that you can call in and talk to us. Now, we, since moving over here, have lost that element, that ability for you guys to call in and chat with us. Now, we do try to interact as much as we can in the comment section, but I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you guys. Like, shoving out that $40-$50 a month, was, in addition to everything else that we were doing, it was just a lot. So this just kind of made the most sense. We were building up a presence here on YouTube, and we were just basically trying to build this community up. And it seemed like we definitely are building that up here, and we appreciate that, because that's one of the things that we were missing on Blog Talk Radio, was that sense of community, the ability to go in and just see everybody in the comment section. But, I thought about bringing it back, maybe setting up a Patreon to help kind of cover some of the cost of doing it on a month-to-month basis. I don't know, man. If you guys watching this, let me know what you think in the comment section. If that's something you guys would be down for. I think the other thing is that we do have the ability to have people come on, and really, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. So, because I can actually control everything here. So that's something else that we may end up doing in the future. Is just starting to bring some of you guys on to send me piece. Let us know what you think about whatever topic that we're talking about. And then if you start talking too long, then I'm gonna kick you out. Just hit the button and then you're gone. But nah, in all seriousness, let me know if you guys are down for that as well. And that's something I'll talk to Kyle and see if we can go ahead and get that into the works. Because we do want to hear from you guys. And like I said, we like the sense of that community that it seems like we're building here from the people that we see week to week in the comment section. So Q just joined us. So let me run down the topics that we have right now. So I already talked about the Cubs. The Cubs, and I haven't checked the score, are up 7-0. I think that's still the same. But we're basically going to talk about what the Cubs can do to force a game 7. Obviously, that's happening. And so we're not going to really need to get into that. What stood out to us, we're going to talk about the week in college football, the NFL, Cam Newton, Brady winning MVP, the Raiders, man. We're going to actually talk about the Raiders. And Westbrook's triple-double. Somebody hit us up, Deuce, not somebody, hit us up on Twitter, said he thought that Westbrook can average a triple-double, so we're going to cover that as well. And Ray Allen announced his retirement tonight, so shout out to Ray. And a couple of other random topics that I may have that I've seen, but this is the outline that Kyle sent over. So anyway, what's going on, Q?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
Yeah. Say what?
Ain't no, yo, just chilling.
Oh yeah. Last I checked, the Philadelphia 76ers were taking care of business with the Magic. Now I'm looking, it's a 2-point game. What's going on there?
We're a scrappy team, man. We're not great, but we're just scrappy. Okay. 2-point game. I think we got
36 seconds left.
36 seconds left. Hopefully we can hang on, man. Hopefully. I'm not mad because Joel Embiid is looking like everything I needed him to be. Other than that, man, it's cooling.
Well, okay. Man, I was and I don't even know if B saw it, man, but I don't know if you saw it either. Did you watch the Cavs Rockets game earlier today?
I did. I caught like maybe 3 quarters and I went to go work out real quick, but yeah.
Did you catch Isaiah Thomas talking about crossovers?
I did not. So what did he say?
He was just talking about the different type of crossovers that Tim Hardaway had and Tim Hardaway, Isaiah Thomas, Allen Iverson and Jamal Crawford. But I love hearing Isaiah talk about basketball because he's so competitive. Like he's still talking junk now, even though he's not playing. But it was funny, man. I don't know if the replay will be on, but he was talking about Allen Iverson. So he said Allen Iverson would come down and he'll do the crossover where he'll hold the ball out like that, crossover, and then he would just move his feet real fast, and then he'll. You just gotta watch him do it, man, because it was freaking hilarious the way he do it. Because the way he talk about basketball is just so it's really like brothers on the street talk about basketball, and I think that's cool that he brings that type of element to it. But one of the things he said that I thought was interesting was he said that. He was talking about LeBron and how, he played just so under control and how he paced himself. And then he said that as you get older, the veterans know how to win a game in 5 minutes. And I thought that was a really interesting comment because it really looks like watching LeBron so far this season, they've taken a lot of the load off of him. And they're really trying to shift things to, of course, Kyrie. They want him to be the primary scorer. And then, of course, they're getting Kevin Love involved. And then if we're in trouble, LeBron comes save us, right? So he's really, really pacing himself throughout the games. And he's still impacting the games just by being a surgeon on the field. And in the 2 games that I've managed, just 2 of their 4 wins, when it came down the stretch, you could feel and see LeBron's impact on the game. So him saying that I thought was really, really interesting, because one of the things that Jordan said, and I think he told Kobe this, we said that it's easy to average like 25 or 26 points or something like that. He said all you have to do is score 5 per quarter, and then in the fourth quarter take over. And that kind of put me in the, when he said that, kind of put me in the mind of kind of what LeBron is doing. He's just kind of going through the motions, and then when they need him, he just go in and do what he do. What did you think about that particular comment, just as a whole, man? Thinking about some of all of the great players that you've seen and how they played in critical moments or just in a game period. Because sometimes you can win a game without even, you know what I'm saying? You can put a game away in, like he said, in 5 minutes and just cruise the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's 100% right. Basically, what you can do is when you get to be an elder statesman of the game, man, you start to feel the game more towards the end of the game if you have the pieces around you to like succeed. And I think that comment's 100% right, because what we're seeing right now with Brian, man, is they're trying to, like you said, they're trying to shift all focus to Kyrie. I think Kyrie will be an MVP candidate. I think he'll finish within one of the probably top 3 of MVP candidates. K-Love is basically trying to be that role player, trying to be that Bosh character. And when they need him, LeBron James comes through, and you can see that he's affecting the game in so many ways. And that's why I think that he's overtaken Bird as the best small forward of all time easily last year. I saw Skip Bayless is struggling for ratings, so he had to go out there and put on some fake commentary about how LeBron is not top 5, and that's just blasphemy at this point. Yes, yes, he did. All respect to Bill Russell, but dude, it's not even the competition. 11 rings, okay, cool. He's our greatest champion, but LeBron James is a top 5 player of all time. He cemented that last year, and as far as I'm concerned, the Cavaliers should be the favorites to win the finals again this year. Simply off the fact that I do. We'll get into that in a second, but I need to finish this point. They should be the favorites, and the reason why is because LeBron James doesn't even have to score to be effective. When I look at Steph Curry, all respect to his game, he's one of the best in the world. I think he's top 3. When his shot is not falling, man, he gets to be very, very expendable on the court. And when Clay's shot is not falling, he can rely on his defense a little bit. But even then, I'm not taking them over LeBron James. When LeBron's shot is not falling, he can assist. When LeBron's shot is not falling, he can defend. When LeBron's shot is not falling, he can orchestrate like a point guard. It's 6'9", 250. And those are skills that you cannot teach, which is why he is simply a top 5 player of all time. And I will field and I will listen to people say he's top 2. I will really listen to those arguments now. I saw him. I know you watched the Toronto game where he played against Cleveland. I'm sorry, Cleveland versus Toronto.
Yeah,
dude, he wasn't even scoring. He was setting people up. He was making everybody better. He was getting J.R. Smith shots. He was getting Kyrie shots. He was defending. He was asserting his will without having to even have the ball in his hands sometimes, and that's just a testament to his greatness. So I do 100% agree with the last 5 minutes comment, because you saw in Jordan's last couple of years that he wasn't playing for. He wasn't playing a stat chase. He wasn't playing to, like pat his ego. He was playing to win the game and get to the stage where he will make his legacy even greater. And that is what we're seeing with LeBron James right now. And I think we will continue to see it with a couple of games where he'll rest. And he was probably going to rest. So Kyrie will definitely be within position to be an MVP candidate right now,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I just saw Skip Bayless list. Yeah. You got to put him over Bill Russell, but that's a conversation for, I guess, another day, man. I get him putting Tim Duncan in top 5. I know he's a homer for him.
I can respect it, but over Bill Russell though, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, all respect to the OG. The titles are great, but LeBron has to be in the top 5, but I think personally, I think he should be in there, and I argue anybody with that as well. I'm gonna come back to the Warriors because I definitely want to touch on them based on some of the things that I've seen, and I want to get you and Ralph's thoughts on that later on in the show. But let's just jump to the NFL real quick. The main topic of this show, we're just talking about Cam Newton, man, and again. You know, he's in the media talking about he's not being protected. And, God, what was somebody came out, it was on the Steelers, and basically told him that if he's not having fun, he should quit. And
Marcus Gilbert.
Yeah. So I think that there is legitimacy to what Cam Newton is saying about him not getting those calls, and that it's almost like he's receiving that Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron treatment, where he's so big you don't know what a foul is. But in this article that I read today, the guy kind of basically compared hits that Cam Newton received versus hits that Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, and I think Phillip Rivers received as well. And like they were spot on, man. And at some point, like we've seen flags thrown for just a little touch, a little graze. So what do you guys think? I mean, at this point, is Cam Newton whining about it too much? Because he's really making a big issue out of it. Like he's saying he doesn't feel safe out there. And help me if I'm wrong with the timeline, and then I'll pass it over. Was he the first one to bring this issue up, or was it the media? Because I think it started last year, right?
I think it started in the Denver game, if I'm not mistaken, the first game of the season. I don't really pay attention to Carolina too much outside of their last couple games because they're not on TV here a lot. But from what I remember, dude, like the way that they was talking about it in the first game against Denver was it was the fact that Cam got that hit and he didn't know where he was for a second. And then after he commented where he was like, yeah, I didn't know where I was for a second. I thought I was cool, but I went back in the game and finished it. Do I think he's whining? It's funny because I was talking to Captain Sneak about this on Twitter for a second, and Captain Sneak was like, you know, people are calling Cam, you know, all types of words and all types of emasculating words, you know, words that rhymes with snitch and all that stuff. And I don't think he's necessarily that, but I think he is definitely more concerned about this due to the fact that he's losing. I think that if he were winning, he wouldn't be saying any of this. Not any of this. I think it would be very toned down. I think the fact that he's losing now makes this much bigger than it is, and it puts it under a magnifying glass, because winning, man, it's a remedy for everything. You know, winning makes everything better. It doesn't matter if you have, you know, an injury. As long as you win, then you can deal with it. But the fact that he's now losing, the fact that the Cardinals almost came back on them on Sunday, the fact that the season has been almost a wash, basically, I think that's putting a lot on Cam's shoulders, and he now has to find kind of a scapegoat where it's like, all right, why am I not doing well? Outside of the fact that we let Josh Norman go, outside of the fact that we don't really have many reliable offensive weapons besides Greg Olsen, it has to be the hits. I'm gonna start talking about the hits. I think there's legitimacy there, but I don't think that if they were winning, he would be saying this nearly as much. If they were 5-2 instead of 2-5, I don't think he'd be saying this.
I disagree with that, Q, mainly because the type of hits that he's been getting have been egregious, especially the one last night around his knees, man. Like, or I mean, this past weekend, like that was really that. Any other quarterback in the NFL today is going to get that call. Any other one. So I don't think it's whining or complaining, man. I think he has a legitimate case, especially, you know, and dude was talking about Ben Roethlisberger getting hit. Yeah, when you're a bigger person in any type of sport that's a contact sport, you may not always get the calls, right? And that just comes with the territory when you're physically imposing like Cam Newton is. But there are certain calls in the NFL that are meant to protect the quarterback that he's not getting. A lot of those instances are when he is in the pocket, not when he is running. How many times has Cam Newton complained about, hey, I was running and then they hit me? No, it's not. All of the times that I've seen has been when he's in the pocket, he's getting hit in the head, he's getting hit at his knees. That's not supposed to happen. And I think he has a legitimate case of not feeling safe. If I'm in this pocket, you're not supposed to come above my shoulders. You're not supposed to go below my knees. And they're doing that consistently. That's a problem. That's a league issue.
You know, Cam's been in the league for a while now, and it seemed like it's this either they've recently started to do this a lot more than they've done it in the past, or there's some validity to what Q is saying. Like, now that they're in the public eye for the wrong reasons, he's trying to maybe possibly create a distraction. Like, if I'm gonna be out here and play and lose, I might as well feel safe while I'm doing it. Because I'm pretty sure he's been hit like this before. I mean, I think we may have even talked about it on this show before it became this big storyline. I totally agree. Yeah, he hasn't been protected. But it does seem like he's barking a lot about it now more than he has in the past. Like, what's changed outside of what's changed? The volume of hits? Is it more than it has been in previous games? I don't know. So it's something, man. It's going to be interesting because, and that's one of the things that I was telling Captain Sneak, with something like this, you can find stats to support any side of your argument. Because the NFL showed a report where he wasn't, where he's received more flags than some other quarterbacks. I can't think of the name. I don't have it with me. And, when I first read it, I was like, that's BS. And it came from Pro Football Focus, which Chris Collinsworth owns, and he has a stock in it, and his interest will be with the league. But I don't know, man. He doesn't receive his hits, but I do think it's a lot louder now that he's losing than it was last year when they were winning. And I still think they got a shot at. I actually think they got a shot at winning the division. If they go on the hot. You think so? They only like 2 games behind.
Well, Carolina, you man, look, I'm not going to change how I feel about Carolina. I'm telling you, man, I don't see it. The defense looked a little bit better, but Cam does not look happy and excited, man. I think that's when Cam plays at his best. And you could say off the field stuff, you could say on the field stuff, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that he does not look joyous on the field. And I think Cam is one of those guys, like your favorite guy, right? Your best friend D Wade. He plays best mad. Cam plays best happy. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people that are like that. He's one. He needs to be happy, and he's just not. And it shows. His body language is always a question mark. Mm-hmm. But the way that he's playing, man, you have to try to pinpoint it at something. And when I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, he just does not seem like he has the same type of joy on that field right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you're losing, you're not. Wade looks good in Chicago too, man.
Yeah, we talk about that. It is still early though,
It is.
It is, but he popping them threes. It looks like it's interesting because when I'm watching the games just to see how their offense look and how all the pieces fit, it looks like it's his team. Which I thought was interesting. I thought they would actually shift a lot more to Butler, but I'm seeing a lot of deferment early. Brady, of course, they're 7-1 now, and there's talk about him possibly being the MVP. What do you guys think about that? You guys think he can win the MVP this year?
I think so.
Man, I'm so bored of Tom Brady being excellent. It is what it is. I mean, they're gonna give him his MVP if he's playing like it. I think the closest person to him probably Matt Ryan or Stafford, and they're not playing as good as he is.
Yeah, I definitely think Tom Brady is the MVP. Like, because the 4 games that he's played, he's made it look so simple, and he's being so dominant. And to me, that's like Matt Ryan. Looking at Matt Ryan doesn't look like it comes as simple. It looks like he's playing great, but I don't know, just the type of fluidity that Tom Brady is playing with now, nobody's playing on his level. Just nobody is. Like it's almost like he's running 30, 40 yards down the field and placing the ball in the receiver's chest. Like, here you go, go score. That's the type of pinpoint accuracy that he's playing with. And when you see it, and it's not just, short passes this season. He's throwing some bombs out there, man. The man still got a cannon for an arm. He's still supremely accurate. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback his age do what he's able to do, man. I think right now he is the MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, he's going to have the numbers to support it. But I do look at the competition he's faced. It hasn't been stellar. And the one time he did face somebody that gave him some comp, it was Pittsburgh. And their defense isn't really the best. But I don't know, man. It remains to be seen. Huh?
I said the schedule's the schedule, because when you look at the rest of their schedule, they're only going to lose maybe 2 or 3 more games the rest of the way. They played the Jets twice. Like, they played cupcakes. But is that Tom Brady's fault? No, he could only play the schedule. He don't make the schedule too now.
Mm-hmm. I do think that we do have to have a conversation at one point about how Tom Brady is the greatest system quarterback of all time, but that should be remain for later.
I'm down for that. I think there was something on here about the Raiders. What are the Raiders now? They will have 2 losses.
I believe that 2 or 3 losses. But I like him though, man. Amari Cooper is going to be a top 5 wide receiver by the end of this season, man. I'm telling y'all.
He struggled a little bit though.
He struggled, but he had 1 TD though, I think, last game.
Or is it that Michael Crabtree has just been playing that good?
Man, Crabtree really came out since he became Team All Lives Matter. He's really been going crazy on. From what I understand, he has I think he had 5, 6 touchdowns this year. He went crazy against Baltimore. He was a steal. But Amari Cooper, I trust Amari Cooper because the kid has footwork. His hands are more reliable. I see a smaller Larry Fitz when I see Amari Cooper, man. And I think that he's going to be something very, very special. And Derek Carr, he is not at all like his brother, man. I'm telling you. His brother, nah, but him, he got it. He has that gift. He has that gunslinger mentality. And I think what we have to understand here is that Jack Del Rio is one of the most underrated coaches probably, and that Jacksonville stint did not do him justice. And even then, he took the Jacksonville team to the playoffs and beat a Pittsburgh team. So let's not act like he was just some pushover there too. He was pretty good there.
I think and it's worked for them so far, but I do think at some point they need to decide on a running back. I'm just not a fan of this running back by committee stuff that they're trying to do. And even when you try to maintain these guys, they still wind up getting hurt at some point. I think that when it comes to the Raiders, the offense, the defense still needs some work. They were supposed to be better this year. That's what a lot of people predicted. From what I've seen, I didn't know. I didn't predict their defense to be one way or the other. But the defense is not living up to expectations. But I think they'll go as far as Derek Carr takes them. They have weapons on the outside. They have a serviceable tight end in Wolford. And Seth Roberts is a good slot guy. He's making plays down the field. I think if they solidify the running game and be a little bit more balanced, they got a shot. And they're in the West. I'm trying to pull up the record. But, Carr hasn't, as much as I like Derek Carr, he hasn't been really playing up to the expectations that I thought he was going to have a breakout year. He's winning, and that's all. Yeah, they're 6-2. He's winning, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters is the W on the field. And the one loss they had, I think they blew it against the Falcons. I think they went for it or something that cost them an L. But yeah, and they played some okay opponents, but
yeah, I think Derek Carr. Here's one thing that I noticed about the NFL. Everyone always whenever a guy has a good rookie season, first off, sidebar. Todd Gurley has been horrendous this year, and I keep telling people to stop overreacting to rookies that have great rookie seasons. Do not stop. Like Beasley said, man, Beasley, he probably gonna be here later on. He'll tell you, man, when they get in that film room, they know how to scheme for you. They will know. And Todd Gurley hasn't done anything as close to what he did those last couple games for LA, man. It's not his fault, but dude, it's the same line. Dude, it's the same line. Like it's just all I'm saying. And the reason why I said that is because for Derek Carr, people expected him to come out and just have like his come to Jesus moment where he's gonna be the next great. And I think that year 3 and 4 is when you'll see that happen. I don't think that's like this year for Derek Carr. I think this year is when we'll see what kind of quarterback he can project to be. Then next year is when we'll see, okay, here's his foundation for what he will be for the rest of his career. Because most of the time, by year 3, we know who you are. And perfect example is Ryan Tannehill or Drew Brees. You know, like we know. And by year 3, I mean year 3 on the field, not just year 3. Like, because some guys sit like Aaron Rodgers and all those guys. But, you have to know. And I think the reason that Derek Carr is going to be great is because they have a great cast of offense around him. And I think the defense will continue to get better. And especially if I keep hearing these rumors about Marshawn trying to come out of retirement, that would be nice to see the Marshawn go back home to Old Town, you know what I mean? To the town.
Man, he's not coming out of retirement.
Yeah, he needs to.
Nah.
He needs to.
Stop. He needs to stop.
I would love to see that.
You know what I like about Derek Carr, man? Sometimes it's not just the measurables, but just the intangibles, and just like the energy that he has that you can see when he's on the field, and he just has that competitive spirit, that drive, that fire that his brother never had. Like, his brother just went out on the field and just tried not to make a mistake at times, it seemed. And but Derek Carr just has much more than that. And when I was just watching he's a bit of a gunslinger too. He'll throw it, but he definitely has a fire, and he's a natural leader, and he wants to win. So that was one of the things that I liked about him. And then from there, it's just a matter of, can you get the coaching around you to help you succeed, and the pieces around you to help you succeed. And so far so good for them. They're 6-2. We'll see what happens. We've seen the Raiders start out hot, and then they can't win a game the rest of the season, and then they don't even make the playoffs. And I think they finished 8-8. I forgot what year that was, but it was a couple of years ago. Ralph's internet went out, and B is having internet issues as well. So he's still working on that. So they said give them a second, and they'll be here.
Okay.
I really want them here for this Westbrook convo. So I'll hold that for a second. Let's jump to Ray Allen, because I saw something you said on Twitter about his shot, that shot in the corner, and how it would have ruined the Miami franchise. So you saying that Ray Allen is the best thing that ever happened to LeBron?
No,
they gave him that back-to-back, though.
Not that. I think it would be a general consensus that Ray Allen did not hit that shot to keep LeBron's legacy on life support. I'll retract my statement of saved his legacy. Put him on life support. It helped him out and postpone a major L. And the reason why I say that is because if Ray did not hit that shot, I believe mainstream media, I believe the pundits, the writers, and a lot of fans would view Bron's escapade to Miami as a failure. Oh, you went down there to get one ring. What would happen to 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5? Come on now. Only one against a young OKC team? Get out of here. You're a failure. And Ray Allen, being Jesus Shuttlesworth himself, peace be upon him, we know that he put him in position to get a Game 7 victory, man. And even though Tim Duncan was fouled and Kawhi Leonard choked at the free throw line, and Ginobili choked at the free throw line, LeBron did his damn thing, man. That no headband game Amazing. That should win. See, LeBron just needs to see. No, the reason why LeBron is prospering now is because he let his hairline breathe. That's it. That's why we gotta know, brothers. If your hairline is just going, either get the LeBron surgery or just let that shit breathe, and you will prosper. And we're seeing that now. So, like, much respect to Ray Allen, but I think Ray, what that shot did for completely helped salvage a legacy that would have been tarnished if they lost that series, man. Because
do you think it added to Ray Allen's legacy at all?
oh yes, man. I think people don't understand that Ray Allen was not just a shooter. Like if you go back to those Bucks days, if you go back to those Seattle days, Ray Allen had a bounce. And I'll tell you right now, and I said this on Twitter also, I said a lot of people had like Kobe expectations for Andrew Wiggins when he came in the league. And if he can even reach Ray Allen in Milwaukee, he'll be an MVP candidate perennial. Not let alone just like crazy eights Kobe. Like so, Ray Allen, man, he was so nice on the court. He had a mid range. He had three. He could jump out the gym better than most guys. Defense, sound on D. He was the prototype, man. He's the prototype for his position, and I think that shot solidified him as one of the most clutch, and I think that shot solidified him as one of the greatest at his position, man. I think he's definitely top 5 in his position.
It was like so automatic too,
yeah.
Because I'll never forget that shot. And Ray Allen has hit a lot of big shots, and he's actually missed a lot of big shots too, because he's still the reason why Boston didn't close out the Lakers in Game 6, because that man couldn't buy a bucket. But it comes with the territory. But it's like when Chris Bosh grabbed that rebound and kicked it out, and he put that shot up in the corner, it's like you almost knew it was going in. And when it did, like you said, I do agree that it did flip the narrative of the Miami Heat era with the big three. I still kind of view it as a bit of a failure because they went 4 times and went 2-2. I'll never ever forgive them for the Dallas loss. But
yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, I mean that was pathetic. If you go 3-1, that's fine. Losing to Pop is no. I mean that you just take that. The guy's got plenty of bodies on his resume, but yeah, man, it's kind of bittersweet, man, because I remember Ray Allen, during the Buck and the Seattle days, but I've come to really enjoy Ray Allen in the Boston days because watching all of them play, the way they played, the sacrifices they made, and just his shot and just how he would just get hot and he would just light people up. It was enjoying to watch and to see him bring that to Miami and to play with LeBron and to want to play with LeBron was even better because he did what at that time, he could do best. Like I remember when Ray Allen, sometimes it got to a point, man, when he was in Miami, he would get the ball and try to dribble the ball up court and it just would lead to a turnover. And it was so painful to watch because I remember when Ray Allen could just bring the ball up the court with no problems. But, as Raph always says, Father Time is undefeated. But what do you think? So you're saying he's top 5 at the shooting guard position?
Yeah, definitely. I think you got to say Jordan, Kobe, Wade. I'll put him at number 4. Then give me Clyde. Who?
Jerry West?
Yeah, I'm putting him over Jerry West.
Even over Reggie?
I'll put him over Reggie, probably. Rings, much more impact in the finals. And then give me Clyde.
Here's the reason why, for me, and I watch Ray Allen and I watch Reggie Miller for their entire career. Okay. Reggie had less. Reggie did a lot more with less. Okay. Reggie, outside of MJ, I don't know who was more clutch than Reggie Miller. So for me, I don't know if I could put Ray Allen top 5 all time.
Can I remind you of the Milwaukee Sixers series 2000, 2001? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ray Allen was very good in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was fantastic. I don't quite remember who he had that was like the man beside him. Well, I know he had Cassell, if I'm not mistaken,
Big
but
dog
Glenn Robinson, okay,
and Sam
and
Cassell at that time.
yeah, he was pretty
Because
good.
you gotta remember that was after the Houston era, Sam Cassell. So he learned all of the experience, the nuance, how to win, and all of that, and he brought that to Milwaukee. Was he an elite point guard? No, but obviously he was above average, and he added that toughness, that mentality, that moxie that you need. Glenn Robinson was always an 18-point scorer, reliable. You know, Ray Allen was the guy on that squad. But when I compare him just to even Reggie Miller, right? Like Reggie Miller's two best people that he played with was Rick Smith and Jalen Rose.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Reggie was amazing. He was definitely amazing, but I can't fault him for losing to the same way I can't fault AI, man, because it's like you get to the finals and you play the most unstoppable tandem of all time. That's something to not be ashamed of. But I think I look at Ray's resume. He beat Kobe, and then he beat Tim. I think I just got to give him my top 5 spot. It's very close, but I just think about all the clutch shots between the two. And while Reggie may have more, I think Ray has more impactful, like more iconic, like clutch shots, if that makes sense.
I think his most iconic shot is the 3 in the corner in Miami. Because outside of that, right? How many other shots are just like, oh yeah, I remember that moment? How many shots did Ray Allen really have like that?
I can give you maybe 2 more. He had one against Chicago to tie it up. That was amazing. It was like a double pump. That shit was amazing. And he had one against the Sixers, man, against AI. I think it was in the playoffs. I think it was game 2.
Okay.
And it was, yeah, I'll give you that.
You're giving me like 2 or 3. Now look, Ray, when you're that great, I'm not saying that he never had any moments. Of course, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. But I don't think his moments were more impactful than Reggie Miller moments. We remember Reggie Miller moments. We remember the push off against MJ and hitting that big 3. We remember everything that happened in New York. To me, Reggie, I don't know, man. I can't put Ray Allen top 5. Ray Allen's great. No disrespect, no nothing like that. I don't think he's top 5 shooting guard.
So who's your 5, Ralph?
My 5, obviously the big 3 shooting guards, you know, MJ, Wade, and Kobe. I'm gonna put Reggie up there. And for me, I gotta put the logo. I gotta put he's the logo, and he's one. You know, so I got to, but definitely Ray Allen's top 10.
I mean, do we count AI as a shooting guard? Because if so, I might have to put him over.
Yeah. Okay. So that's always the question. If he's a 2 guard, I think he's a 2 guard. I was just trying to be PC. Yeah. But if he is a 2 guard, he's number 5 for me.
Okay. Yeah, if I'm doing that, my top 5 will look just like this. Give me MJ at 1, give me Kobe at 2, give me Wade at 3, give me AI at 4. And man, it's so hard, bro. I still might have to put Ray up in there, but yeah, man, give me Ray at 5, man. That's like that's wow. Over Clyde. That's over Clyde and Reggie.
Wow. Man, Clyde was my man. Clyde's making my 5. I think obviously this is a big 3. I think I might have to go with Reggie too. Wait, did we say AI was a point guard, right?
No, 2.
He's a 2. I will give him the 2 guard because that's what he was known for at the 01 MVP season. So at his peak, he was a 2 guard because he played best off ball and he played best.
Snow point.
Yeah, snow ram point. He could just eat off screens and all that. Let me throw some at you since you're old, Ken. George Gervin.
See, well, I didn't see him play like that.
Yeah, okay.
But,
I know I went to middle school together.
huh? I see his name, and I mean, his names were like in the 70s and stuff like that. But no, I didn't really get a chance to see him. All I know is that people compare him to Kevin Durant a lot. And I saw the highlights. I would like to see some of his games to kind of really watch how he get down. But all I can do is just go by everybody else, man. Like I struggle with Jerry West. And I understand he's the logo, and he averaged 40, but I got to use one of the things that Q kind of throw up in our face is how would he compare in today's game? He wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Now, when Q uses that argument with Wilt and Bill Russell, everybody, like them dudes were still athletic and big and can run. And so, I think there's a slight difference. The context changes, but I mean, it does. Okay. But Jerry West, I don't know, man. He'll be JJ Redick.
Maybe.
Look, don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful. Wait, hold on, man.
Might be Nick Stauskas out here.
What is y'all? Look, man. Wait, hold on. Let me break something down for y'all, man. Y'all out here being disrespectful. Man. Look, in basketball, obviously, way back in the 50s, 60s, even in the 40s, man. Athletically, it's a different game, right? But that's the beauty about basketball is that if you have skills, you can overcome the athletic deficit. You know what I'm saying? Now, would he do what he did in his time? No. But that does not mean he wouldn't be viable, and that does not mean that he would not be an all-star. Because my brother was over here. I gave him a haircut, and we was talking about the NBA season and everything, and they did a sports science on James Harden. And when they measured his athletic ability, he's average vertical, average speed, average strength, average everything. You know what separates James Harden? How he slows down. That's one thing that separates him. And this man is a perennial top 3 scorer in the NBA. You see what I'm saying? So you can you can compensate for the things that you don't have physically in basketball. Again, Jerry West may not have averaged 40. I'm not saying that. But you can't. This guy's not going to be the 12th man on a rock. He's not going to average 8 points a game. Like that's not what's going to happen. When you are a baller, you can ball, man. Let's stop being disrespectful.
I have such feelings about older players, man, and people always say it's like a disrespectful thing. But I can only speak the truth, man. I just don't think that those guys would be the guy.
Here's the thing. I'm not all the way disagreeing with you.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not all the way disagreeing with you. The athletic difference of 2016 versus 1960 is immense. It's huge. It's huge. And that's why I'm saying that a Jerry West wouldn't average 40, but he's not going to average 5 points either.
Oh, no. But I guess in the context of this conversation, are we saying that in today's game, Jerry West would – all right, Jerry West is born in 1996. You know what I'm saying? He's a white boy. He's bald. He went to Duke or something, right?
He'll be at least an all-star.
Okay, but do you think towards the end of his career, he'll be a top 5 player at his position? Okay.
No. Not if he was the same exact Jerry West from whenever he was born, but everything was the same in 1996 when he was born. If he was the same exact player, he wouldn't be the logo. He wouldn't be as prominent in NBA history. That's why I agree with you. Yeah. But he wouldn't be a bum.
Yeah. Okay. I can feel that because you got guys like Sergio Rodriguez who just dropped like 18 and 10 for the Sixers, and he just came over from Spain. And I think
for about 5 years.
Yeah, and I think that Jerry West could probably average 13 and 7.
Nah,
I mean we have bad white boys in the NBA, man. They all gone now. But
I mean, Yeah,
When I was growing up, they were there.
Like 15, 7. Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that. But I don't think he's top 5 all time over Ray.
Yeah, because we're talking about. We're basically saying that when you're placing him in like a top 5 spot, we're basically trying to say that he could be the Larry Bird of the shooting guard position in today's NBA. Larry Bird was a bad man, and he wasn't super athletic at all, man. He just was a bad boy.
That's what I'm saying. When you can ball, you can ball. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right. I just struggle with putting him 5. But I do think that if you take, because like you said, Reggie Miller wasn't super athletic either. You know, he just did what he did extremely well. So for me, who do I give that 5 spot to, man? It's a toss up between Reggie Miller and Ray Allen, and I have to think about it a little bit more. Like I remember watching Ray Allen hit those moments, and they'll always like stay with me. You know that.
Like I remember when he hit the record, Ken. Like when he hit the record in Boston.
The 6 points in what, 8 seconds or whatever. You're talking about a guy, and that's a good point, FIFA. We only played with Rick Smits and Jalen Rose, and he was going toe to toe with Jordan. Okay. Like it's crazy, and you know we all know what Clyde Drexler did, man. He like when Portland had his run, they were like one of the top 5 teams in the NBA, like top 2. I think one year they had the best record in the NBA. So
before we move on, I have to ask FIFA one question. FIFA, do you think that Ray Allen had more skill overall as an athlete than Reggie did, or do you think that they were okay?
Hell yeah! Look, those Milwaukee days, man. Ray Allen was a complete player. Like most people that are probably watching this remember Ray Allen, the 3-point shooter, but Milwaukee Ray Allen, Jesus Shuttlesworth, that guy there had handles, step back, post game, yam on you. You know, he had the reverse dunk. You know what I'm saying? In the wide open. No, Ray Allen was an elite athlete once upon a time. He just transitioned to his old man game in terms of a shooter. You know, he never had like amazing handle, but he had enough to create space. He by far way more athletic than Reggie Miller ever was. I think the difference is that I don't know, man. It's with all of those deficiencies that Reggie had, to still be that great, to still push the best shooting guard of all time to all like to the max. Like to me, I've never witnessed another player match Jordan for Jordan the same way Reggie did. Now, I say it all the time. There were guys in the NBA during Jordan's era that would give Jordan work. Allen Houston. Don't believe me? Go look that up. Allen Houston used to score 20 plus on Jordan. Mitch Richmond and Reggie Miller. Those 3 guys used to take it to MJ. You know what I'm saying? So Reggie, out of everybody that I've ever watched Jordan really compete against, physically the least out of all of those competitors, but mentally and heart-wise, man, look, man, Reggie was that guy. Reggie did a lot with a little.
Yeah, see, Ray Allen, as he got older, took Reggie Miller's game, the same game that Reggie Miller had his whole career. So Ray Allen was able to actually transition out of being able to do a little bit of everything into what Reggie Miller was for his whole career, which was a guy that's going to run around the court and come off screens and put up buckets. But that was his second career, his second leg in basketball. Reggie Miller never had that. So that's kind of the difference.
People forget those Sonics days too, man. Him and Rashard Lewis.
Yeah, he was nice.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. Like, okay, so if we're splitting hairs and we're comparing how they played, your style of play doesn't necessarily, it's not a detriment or an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Just because Reggie wasn't the one-on-one basketball player that Ray Allen was early in his career isn't a detriment to Reggie. Because I can make a case that guarding Reggie's harder than guarding a guy that dribbles and pounds the rock because he doesn't even have the ball. He's even more dangerous without the ball. So he's running around. You're trying to figure out where he is. Everybody got their head turned. He got teammates scoring. So I can make an argument that that's even more dangerous than a guy that can beat you off the dribble. So at the end of the day, again, we're just splitting hairs. Both of them are great. I would just take Reggie because of the clutch moment. Well, you never had to question. It was just like Jordan, just a different version. You knew who was going to get the ball, and you knew that if he got a good look, it was probably going to go in, and you were going to lose that game.
Facts.
Even more so than Ray, because Ray was clutch too. I'm just saying, Reggie to me was more clutch.
All right, so I want to jump into the Warriors after this, but Deuce hit us up on Twitter, FIFO, and he said that after Westbrook put up another triple-double, that he thinks that Westbrook can get Oscar Robinson's record.
Yes.
He can average triple-double for a year. You agree with that?
I agree with that. Because, look, as a basketball player, there are a couple things mentally that can just free you up. When you're great and you're playing with another great guy, you have to take into account that other person. Russ, where in the position that he's in now, is about him. He knows that if I don't do this or come close to doing this, we won't have a shot to win. And the type of competitor he is, he's going to leave it all. So based off of that, the freeness, when he's playing now, you see that he is more free playing without KD. And because of that, I think that he can average. I'm not saying he will average. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying it is definitely possible. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Russ.
What about you, Q? You think he got a shot at it?
I think anything is possible. Would I bet on it, though? Probably not. I can't bet on that, man. I just see what they have around him. And they have no shooting on OKC, man. They have no shooting at all. And it's very early. He looks dominant. But very soon, people are going to know how to play them. People are going to know how to play this new look Thunder team. They traded Ilyasova, who wasn't doing that well, for a Sixers player named Jeremy Grant. And Jeremy can't shoot that well either. Jeremy is a stretch four. They try to make him into a three. Doesn't work. He has an awful handle. And he's just good at blocking shots from time to time. Gets you a good vine clip here and there on a good dunk. But other than that, he's just not that incredible of a player, and he's not a guy who can knock down open shots consistently. Oladipo, I do not trust his jumper. He's great. Russ, spotty shooters just like John Wall, but he's a beast because he can get in the open floor and cause havoc. Wondering where the assist will come from, because you're going to have to start kicking the ball out. You know, you can't just eat inside all game. And I think that's going to sacrifice a lot of wins if he triple doubles, because I think he needs to score more points than he'll need to get assists to get more wins come later on in the season. But would I bet on him to do it? No. Is it possible? It's very possible, because Russell Westbrook is an absolute monster. I just don't trust the people around him. I trust him. I don't trust the people around him. I trust the fact that he'll find the people. I trust the fact that he'll get the ball to them. I do not trust their jumpers, man. I just don't.
I mean, you need 3 assists a quarter, pretty much, and then an extra one here or there. I think he could get the assist. I question the rebounds.
Okay.
Whoa. Out of any stat, you're going to question the rebound. He's the number 1 rebounding point guard the last 5-6 years.
That's honestly one of his biggest flaws, is the fact that he goes to the rebound too much, and people beat him down the field or down the court. So I don't think that the rebounds would be a problem. I think it'll be the people that he's passing to, man. That's why I think will be the biggest problem.
I think to be able to sustain that for just all of it, in all honesty, for a whole season, because he exerts so much energy. I don't know if he'll be. He had at some point he has to rest,
but
and
Ken,
sacrifices have to be made.
Ken, when have you ever seen Russell take a game off?
Never.
So why do you think it's going to change now?
I
don't know how physically fit he is. I know how athletic he is.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, come on, man. Wait, hold on. Look. Ken, there's certain guys that you just don't have to question that. LeBron is one, Russell's another one.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So you're saying physically he's on the level of LeBron. LeBron spends like $1.5 million a year on his body alone.
Yes, he's on the same athletic playing field as a LeBron James. Yes, he is just a smaller version. So I think he could keep it up. I physically I think he can keep it up.
But he doesn't have the endurance.
I think he has all of that. I think he has. I'm not worried about the physicality, the endurance, all of that. I think he has it. Here's the thing: when's the last time Russell really played 82 games? He's gonna miss some games. Everybody misses some games, right? Like as long as you play over 70 games, it's a healthy season for you. He's gonna do that, right?
Not many people play every game.
Yeah, not many people play 82 games. It's very rare, especially nowadays. Now, Q, to you, I agree with every point that you made. He doesn't have the shooting on the court, this, that, whatever. But the thing that you have to look at, I don't have it in front of me. I guarantee you, if you look at Russell Westbrook's usage rate, is by far the highest in the league.
It is the highest in the NBA.
And I don't even have it officially. And I know that just by watching. Because of that particular stat, he's going to be close to averaging a triple-double. And like to Ken's point, averaging 3 assists a game or per quarter, right? He's going to do that because he's the one that has to initiate plays and he's going to make plays for other people. It doesn't always mean that driving and kicking for a shot. A lot of times means driving, drawing a big, handing off, dunk. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get a lot. He's gonna average very close to 10 assists a game.
That's true.
I think that is the one stat that can hold him back from averaging a triple-double.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's gonna get it. I really do. Or he's gonna average like 9.
His usage rate is 40.4.
Wow. And that's because he has the ball in his hand every single possession. Every single possession, the ball goes in, the offense goes through him. He orchestrates it, and he's the first one up the court. He's the first one down the court, man. It doesn't matter because he wants to win. Only thing that I think would hinder that is we know that he has a ticky-tack history of injuries where he'll get a meniscus tear here and there, but he'll be back within 2 weeks because he's a beast. I think that's the only thing stopping him is, a little ticky-tack injury here and there, and that's it,
Exactly. Like, man, look, man, this man came back. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. Came back from an injury and then got a triple-double like in 13 minutes.
Yeah, it was a meniscus tear in 2014.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, look, man. This guy, he's not wired the same. The same way that we question, can Jordan do this for a whole season? Can LeBron do this? Can these certain – Russell Westbrook is wired in that fashion, man. Russell Westbrook will come out on top.
Yeah. Man, let's talk about these Warriors, man.
Oh, I've been waiting to talk about these guys.
First, yeah. Let me toss this out there real quick. So, LeBron apparently trolled them with the 3-1 something at Halloween. Now, people are saying is that the Warriors, it could have been for the Indians because they had a 3-1 lead. We can't say it's necessary.
No. It was about the Warriors because his cookies had tombstones with Steph and Clay's name on it. So it's about the Warriors.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it was completely about the Warriors. It's just a troll. I mean, he deserves it.
You think he's going too far, though?
No,
he deserves it, man. See, this is what people – I love this. This is like playful shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very playful.
It's not petty, though, man.
It is petty, but, I mean, Russell Westbrook just had a damn commercial, now I do what I want. Like, come on now. That's like the ultimate petty. He's making money off that shit. over here dancing and whatnot. Come on now. So yeah, I mean, dude, it got very scary for Steph. So it's only fitting that every day is Halloween when you play LeBron James, man. It's very scary on that court, trying to stop the 6'9" freight train. Dude, like I love it. I love it. I love the fact that they're like, you know what, y'all suck. Y'all can't beat us when we have full squad. Y'all. This is what they're probably talking about. They're probably in that locker room, and I know you're probably gonna talk about Draymond's comments, but alluding to those, he's probably like, man, they gonna. He like
they go hand.
They gonna whoop us. So Draymond Green says that he can't wait to play the Warriors in the finals. He wants to destroy them. Okay, that's hilarious because I know LeBron James is hearing this stuff. LeBron is a very socially aware athlete. And I'm by social media, I mean, and he knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. People tell him, hey, LeBron, did you hear about this and that? He knows. So when people say comments like that, that's the reason why you get cookies, bro, because you can't beat us at full squad. That's what they're thinking. I said earlier today, I think the Cavaliers should definitely be the favorites to win the finals. I do not think it should be Golden State at this moment in time because I don't think Golden State has an answer for Tristan Thompson. I don't think they can have someone who can out-rebound him, and that's why I can't wait when we talk about how they're starting out. I think they're playing Blazers right now, and they're looking like they're struggling a little bit, and that's because they don't have a big presence inside. Pachulia is a complementary piece that I would bring off the bench, but you need to just bring in like a rim protector. And the reason why that LeBron made those cookies, RIP Steph and RIP Clay, is because he knows, and deep down they know, that even with KD, there's still a little gray area of doubt that, man, I don't know if we can beat this guy in this team. There's still a little gray area of doubt. And I don't think it was far. I don't think it was out of bounds. I think it was perfectly on the nose because no one said it was too far when Steph Curry said, locker room still smells like champagne here in Cleveland. I bet it smells like crying Jordan faces now.
You know what? I think that's a good point because we all know that if the Warriors would have won that shit, I mean, if the Warriors would have won, Draymond would still be talking. Like the Warriors were very, very cocky. They talked a lot of mess, and they let the league know that they were better than anybody. So maybe they're getting a taste of their own medicine. I do think that, and he's just rubbing it in their face. And going back to what Draymond said, maybe they may want to beat him so bad in the finals that they ultimately end up losing because they pressed him too hard to beat him. I think, and when I read Draymond's comments today, like you want to go out here and destroy, and I'm with you. I think I still would pick the Cavs right now to win.
Have this 7.
Okay, we can add that if you want. Yeah, right now with the way teams are presently constructed and playing, I'll pick the Cavs to win that series because at the end of the day, you're trying to get the most points on the board, and there's only so many shots to go around. And if you got somebody that can match Kevin Durant, I mean, anyway, we can get into all that later. But if they see each other, but say for instance, hypothetically, they do go and destroy the Cavs in the finals. Like, are we really gonna applaud Golden State Warriors for that? Like, you had to go get KD in order to do this. Like, how is that to be respected? At least I don't know if I would give it that much respect on my end. Like, I would have respected it more if you brought that same squad back. It's the same thing we said when LeBron left Miami. If you re-upped and came back to beat the guys that beat you with the same unit with little tweaks here and there, and you won, that's to be respected, man. Just like we respect the Spurs for coming back and beating Miami. But you can't go out and add the second best player in the NBA and then come about and say you want to destroy somebody because you're adding to your ability to do it more easily than before. It's kind of weak.
But Ken, okay. So you're looking at, I feel like that's a very fan perspective. Like you look at it from an organizational standpoint, look at it from a Golden State Warrior standpoint. Like, come on, man. Like, you want to have the best squad out there. You want the best talent around you that's complementary. KD, we've always said, is complementary to what they want to do. It's not like, okay, we're going all the way against the grain to add this great player that's going to mess us up. No, we're adding a great player that fits what we want to do anyway, right? And to win, we know it takes talent. And they were on the brink of losing, being down 3-1 and then being up 3-1 and losing, right? Like they had the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows last year. So to go get KD, is that far-fetched? I don't think it's that far-fetched. I think people criticizing them the way that you are is just a sour fan that didn't get KD on their squad.
It's just him saying, I want to of course you're going to want to destroy them. But when I look at if they blow them out by 30 each game, like.
But here's the thing, Ken. Last year, Draymond was saying the narrative hasn't changed. It hasn't changed because we got KD. It's not like they were silent last year or the year that they beat Cleveland, right? And then all of a sudden we got KD. Oh, I'm talking all this smack. We going to whoop. Nah. Draymond been that guy. And then this is and I want to go back even a little bit further in the conversation. I'm fine with LeBron doing this now.
Yeah.
You know why? Because LeBron earned it.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, early on in his career, how much smack did he talk? He was very humble. Mm-hmm. Very humble. It's just in the last 3 to 4 years that he's talking smack like, yeah, I'm that guy. Because he knew he had to put in the work. He had to win because of all of the scrutiny and the microscope that he's always been under. He didn't have any room to talk. You would have thought, oh, look at LeBron. He's counting his chickens before they hatching. This, that, whatever. Oh, he's the one that's chosen. Why is he talking? He hasn't done nothing. But now that he's done something, you can't say a damn thing. I done came back down 3-1 and won the finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's done everything. So for him to be this petty, it's not being petty. It's being the truth.
It's being factual.
I killed y'all. LeBron killed Golden State 2 years in a row in the finals, if we want to be honest. If we truly want to be honest. So where LeBron is now in his career, he has earned every bragging right. He has earned every petty thing. He's earned everything he's doing, man. And I don't have no problem with Golden State doing and saying and feeling how they feel because they won 73 games, which is an NBA record. They both have positions to stand on. Now, can both of y'all make it again to the finals? That'll be the first time in NBA history. That'll be 3 times in a row. And let's see if Draymond could back it up. Because you were partly the reason you could make an argument for it that y'all lost. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I want all of the talking. I just like what was it? Some years ago we talking about rap was too nice. The NBA was too nice. Don't we complain about the NBA being too nice? Talk all your stuff. Yeah, it's not the same physical type of game, but talk all of the stuff because it makes for a better ending.
Yeah. I agree. And I kind of want to just pivot, still staying on Golden State. But the reason why I need to explain why I think I have the Cavs as my favorite right now is, once again, I'll reiterate the fact that Tristan Thompson is a rebounding demon. And the fact that Golden State doesn't have somebody who can grab those boards the same way that Tristan can, I think that's the biggest difference. Now, however, I think that Golden State will make a trade. I think that they'll pull their Cavs, like how the Cavaliers had that first year, and they're like, all right, well, we need more pieces. How about we go get, Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith? I think they'll go find a big. They'll probably have to trade a guy like Livingston, which would be a detriment, but it's going to have to happen. And I think what they're going to look at is, 1, Orlando has a surplus of bigs. 2, Philadelphia has just Nerlens sitting right there, which I think will be the best situation. 3, you have Larry Sanders on the street. He's chilling. Bring him in for a workout. And what is it? Number 4, the Kings. No, it's the Kings. Which team is Costa Kufis on? Kufis is on Kings, right?
It's not. I think it is the Kings, but I don't know. No. It's not. It's somebody.
Utah?
Yeah, it's weird. because he starts and he's a center.
Yeah,
It's not you.
but yeah, Kufis will probably be available, and also Phoenix has Tyson Chandler. So Golden State right now, as they are constructed, I think they're gonna figure their kinks out, but they still need that person inside because that is their glaring weakness, man. AD gave them 45.
No, he's still with the Kings.
Okay, yeah, all right. So Costa Cooper is probably available, and DeMarcus Cousins, poor DeMarcus Cousins. But yeah, man, they don't have that interior force on the inside that can either just rim protect like a Nerlens or go and get you some rebounds like a Tyson Chandler or a Costa Koufis. And I think that the two teams that they will be calling up very soon will either be Orlando or Philadelphia because Orlando has Vucevic, Biyombo, and Ibaka, and they're really weird. But they might just go ahead and trade a Vucevic for a Livingston because they need all the guards apparently. And I think Philadelphia, the way that we're set up, we need picks and we need young talent. And I think we would actually take a Patrick McCaw for Nerlens easily, and I like him. But right now, man, with the Warriors, they play a very, very, very dangerous game. And it's a dangerous game because if it's not on, then they don't have it. If it is not on, it is a train wreck. And we saw what the Spurs did. The Spurs fundamentally disrupted their offense, and they took them to task on defense. Kawhi Leonard is playing like an MVP candidate. AD gave them 45 points. The Suns were scrappy, and the Suns aren't even that good. So against Cleveland, I don't think they have enough right now, and they will make that trade. And I want to get FIFO's opinion on that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that they're a bit too small. I think that the greatest teams, the championship teams, are able to play in a multitude of styles. If you need to go bigger, they can go bigger. You need to play small, you can go small. You should be able to be versatile. And Golden State is not versatile because they're small. They can't go big anymore. And I think that's going to be a real big problem. I saw it early on in preseason. They're getting out-rebounded, and they're not able to outshoot the rebound deficit right now. Because there's still a lot of quirks and kinks and missing open shots and trusting. Like just right now in the first quarter, there was one play where Steph got the ball back in the corner, anticipated Ian Clark to be there, just threw it away. So you're going to have some of that stuff. I 100% agree. They need a rim protector. I like Nerlens. There are a lot of big men in the NBA now that they could make some moves for. They are definitely going to need to make a move if they think that they're going to beat Cleveland. Because as presently constructed, I don't think they can beat Cleveland, even if they were running at full tilt. Now, it also depends the adjustments that Steve Kerr would make, mainly because what we saw last year in the finals was nobody could stop Kyrie and nobody could stop LeBron. Golden State had the team, had the offensive architecture, the philosophy, all of those things in their favor. And what it came down to was we can't stop two guys, no matter what we do. I think it's Steve Kerr, and you got to put the onus on KD. Can KD guard Kyrie? Can he slow him down? Can we disrupt something that Cleveland wants to do and out-rebound them? So it's going to be a lot of different things. I don't think that how Golden State is right now, they're going to have to make a move or two. They are. I don't see them finishing the season with the squad that they have right now. They're going to have to make some moves.
Is Klay Thompson the guy that's going to get out of there? Because
Draymond.
Huh?
Draymond is the key.
So they're going to
Draymond will play a key, man. Here's the thing. They all kind of – KD don't need him. KD can do what KD does on any squad in the NBA. But those other three guys kind of need each other. Steph needs Klay because Steph can't guard elite point guards. Klay, I don't think, is a number one option by himself. I think he needs another guy to help him get his shots, for him to be effective. And Draymond needs all-star level players so that way he looks like an all-star too. So I think their big three that they drafted are dependent on each other.
So who do you trade?
Bench
You
pieces.
have to go to the bench. You have to look at Iguodala. You got to look at Sean Livingston. You got to look at some of those other guys. You're not trading nobody out the big four. You just can't. You can't afford to do that.
The reason why the reason why you don't go at the big four, man, is because you cannot disrupt that chemistry. The reason why you go to the bench is simply because you have teams around the NBA that need to get older, that are trying to make that playoff push. And I think you have to look at teams like Utah, Sacramento, Philadelphia, Orlando, and they want to get in right now. And the way that you do that is you get older, and you have to get bench pieces and leadership to push you into that playoff spot. And that's why guys like Sean and Iguodala are perfect for trades for like a rotational big, because you're getting people who can still play right now, who won't demand huge contracts when the new CBA is done.
Here's why I tossed out Clay and Draymond, and you guys may know why already. First, I do think I overvalue Pachulia a little bit. Highlighting Tristan Thompson in the rematch, yeah, he's going to tear him apart. Pachulia don't stand a chance. And watching them play, you can see the problems they have just with size and being able to get rebounds. That being said, Draymond had a pretty scathing article written about him in ESPN that I think there's some validity to it. And then Klay Thompson is on record as saying that he's not going to sacrifice shit. It may have came across the wrong way, and we may be looking at it the wrong way, a different way now that the season has started and they're struggling. But he said it, and it made it seem like there was a hint of jealousy there in signing KD, even though I think he was part of the active crew recruiting him. But nevertheless, it's still out there in the public that the two of them have had issues, and they said last year in the article, Raph, and I don't even know if you read it, but they said that Draymond was basically tearing that team apart, and Steve Kerr had to come back earlier than he wanted to because the team, Luke Walton basically lost control of the team, and that Draymond was stat chasing and kind of got beside himself. And we all know what happened in the playoffs. And I think even Mo Spates says, I forgot what I sent you, Q.
Yeah.
Mo Spates on record is saying something too.
Yeah.
I think there's something to it, man. There's something to that article.
You know what, Ken? Look, on every professional team, you're gonna have a guy like Draymond. Sometimes it's a guy that has no business being.
So Draymond Green is Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, well, a little different version. Like
Rasheed Wallace,
that wild card.
Yes,
dude, you have to have a Dennis, a Metta World Peace. You have to have a Rasheed Wallace. Like, he's that guy.
Yeah, okay.
That guy for me. And the thing is that great organizations have to have leadership to be able to control those type of scenarios. Like you said, Steve Kerr had to come back quicker. Yeah. Did you ever hear any issues with Dennis Rodman and any of the places that he played? Why? Because he had I can't remember. I don't think he played for Popovich because I don't think Popovich was the coach of San Antonio at the time.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
He played for Pop. Okay, yeah. So he played for Pop. So obviously you already know how it's going down. Then he also, early on in his career, he played for Chuck Daly, right? Then he played for Phil Jackson. You're not going to have issues because those guys know how to handle guys like that. Now, if you went to a volatile situation, it's not going to be productive, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like Draymond needs to have that type of culture and environment because if you put him in the wrong situation, he's going to tear that organization and that team apart. But you put him in the right situation, it's just enough hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? To give it that kick to be like, you put your foot in this gumbo. You know what I'm saying? That's what Draymond is. And he only works in certain organizations. You can't just put him anywhere. It has to be a strong foundation for him to be able to maximize what he does best. You know what I'm saying? And you just need that. Every squad needs that. And you need the best players on the team, your GM, your head coaches to be able to control that situation.
My bad. I don't think he played. He didn't play for Pop. Yeah, I don't think he played
for
Pop.
You didn't play for Pop. I know my basketball, Ken.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know why. Who did I get him mixed up with? Robert Horry?
Who didn't play for Pop? Who? Kirk?
Dennis Rodman. Because when he played,
didn't he play for? Did he play for Avery?
No. Popovich was an assistant coach on the staff when Dennis Rodman was playing, but I never remember who the head coach was.
Yeah, Pop didn't take over until they got Tim Duncan, I think, or the year before Tim Duncan got there, which was around, I think, 98, 99.
He played with John Elliott and David Robinson in them.
Yeah. Damn, who did I think I may have gotten him confused with Robert Horry because there was one guy that it seemed like every team he went to, they would win a championship, and he seemed like –
You talking about Bob Hill?
Nah. But anyway, it may have been. I think it was Robert Horry. That was somebody that went every time.
I'm talking about like the coach. His name was Bob Hill before Pop.
Oh, okay.
And before him,
that may
was
be
John.
true, yeah.
And before it was Bob, it was John Lucas II.
So you guys are not. So at this point, when I'm watching, from what I've seen with the Warriors, it seemed like to me that's KD's team.
Yep.
Do you guys agree with that assessment?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like Barkley pissed me off because he said that KD wouldn't even average 28. I said that's just insane. There's no he's a damn good. He's a unicorn, man. He's a unicorn 7-footer with a handle who can shoot the three. Stop it. Like there's only one man on earth who could stop that, and that's LeBron James. We'll slow it down even. Yes, that's KD's team now. You see Steph is taking that complimentary role because that's what's best for Steph. Steph knows what's good for him. He knows that if he plays off of KD, then he will get his open shots. And it's not necessarily second fiddle. It's necessarily just being smart. Like, why would Steph assert himself as the alpha male when he has this big 7-foot distraction unicorn right here that he could eat off of? You know what I'm saying? And then Clay too. There's no reason for Steph to get overly territorial and say, no, this is my team. This is how we play. This is Steph Curry's basketball. No, this is your basketball team now. I'll relinquish the reins to you until I feel that you don't need them anymore. And KD will always have them because he's a better overall basketball player than Steph Curry is. So, yes, it's definitely his team now, man. They follow him where he goes. He just scored 37 last night. Come on, conversation.
Here's why it has to be KD's team. KD is the best talent on the squad, and that's not always typical. There's different scenarios, but in this case, KD has to be the best player. You know what I'm saying? It has to be his squad, and the reason being is because Steph is a point guard. You know what I'm saying? And as a point guard, you have to defer. You have to. Doesn't matter if you're a scoring point guard or not, whatever. There's going to be multiple opportunities for you to defer. And it makes Golden State a much more dangerous squad by making KD the first option. Because last year, when Steph takes over, a lot of times he plays off the ball. Because it is extremely difficult to win in the NBA having your point guard take the majority of shots playing point guard. Being on the ball with the rock, like Russell Westbrook, it's extremely difficult to do that. So a lot of times when Steph would go off, Draymond would handle it, initiate the offense, bring Steph off of pick and rolls, off of screens and everything, getting them open a la a Reggie Miller. Now, Steph can defer to KD and still do what makes him great, still run around and be the second pure option. So when you have it like that, when you have an established number 1 KD, number 2 Steph, number 3 Clay, and Draymond is the glue to hold that together, that is way more difficult to stop than having KD and Steph trying to figure out whose team it is. Really, overall, I still think that they go as Steph goes, but it has to be KD's aura that has to take over this squad for them to maximize what they can be.
God, I was about to ask you guys something else. I forgot what the hell it was. I can't. About Kevin Love and Westbrook. And I think I'm at the point now where I'm getting like sick and tired of the articles, and I hope that at some point it'll die down. But Kevin Durant actually came out today and he said, man, you know, I love Westbrook and that's my dude, and I hate that the way he put it, he made it seem like the media is pitting them against each other, and that, you know, he's tired of it. So, but in that profile I read about Westbrook, it seemed like for Westbrook, there's still a level of hurt and distrust there for him. But Westbrook is also tired of it as well. Do you still believe that they are legit friends? Do you believe KD, or is there some tension there, or maybe this is just a bump in the road?
I think that when you make a life-altering decision with another person that was on your same level, of course there's going to be – it's not going to be all roses. You know what I'm saying? It's not happy-go-lucky. It's not like these guys are as close as LeBron and D-Wade and or Carmelo and CP, right? Like they don't have that level of a friendship. Like it was more of a working relationship. So when somebody leaves that, and you thought, being Russell Westbrook, yo, we got some good, you know, we almost beat the guys that made it to the finals, that you have that trust in KD to come back to let's finish what we started. Let's get back to the finals together. All of those is what's going through Russ's head. So to see KD bounce like that, especially to the enemy in the way that he did, of course Russ is going to feel some type of way. Now, I think that if they were as close as LeBron and D-Wade, you might feel some type of way, but then it blows over just like it did with LeBron and D-Wade. You know, there was it felt a little weird at first, but then it was nothing. And then here goes LeBron taking 2 weeks off during the season. He goes to Miami, hanging out, this, that. It's a different relationship. So, yes, I think there is a lot to a lot of what these articles are saying and all of this. And, you know, no, they didn't have the closest relationship. You don't have to have a best friends type of relationship to get the best results on the court. Just because we can hoop together doesn't mean that our normal personalities mesh. But we can work together. We could go get these buckets together. We could go make this money together. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I do think that there is some validity to all of this stuff. But it's the media's job to continue to hype it, to continue to keep it a story. The way that it deads is that these guys don't even reference each other anymore. They have to kill it, and then it'll die.
Well, I know from the games that I've seen so far, I've enjoyed it. Like there was the Bulls were playing the Celtics, and the game got chippy, and it's like the second game of the season, I think. And talking about the way, you know, Cleveland and Dre and the Warriors are going back and forth. I think it's fun, man, to kind of going back to what Q was saying and what we said on the show, to have the talk, like to enhance the competition. To when they see it get on the court, they basically want to beat each other down, and I think that makes the season exciting. And that's why I was looking forward to the season, because there are so many storylines that are beyond just the games themselves that you can attach yourselves to and get a level of entertainment from it. So, and so far it's living up to the hype.
You know what, Ken? I think this is just a testament. You know, I say this all the time. And people are seeming to start to agree, man, that the NBA, man, is just becoming a much better product on a daily basis than the NFL. And I've been saying this for the last couple of seasons. And I think it's a testament to what the NBA is doing because the talent is getting younger and it's getting better. I think the teams are getting better. I think that the games are always competitive. Even like the Sixers just were in a competitive game. We lost, but we're competitive now. We're seeing the fact that the teams are starting to take stances on social issues. My Sixers were disappointing, but at least we're seeing progress being made as opposed to the NFL, which we'll not get into anymore. But we're just seeing the talent is getting younger by the day. It's getting better. The older guys are staying around longer, and they're still doing work. We're seeing the fact that the players are getting paid now. And once again, man, that just goes back to what I keep saying is that happy players, happy product. That's what you got to do. You have to make your players happy. And the reason why the NFL is suffering because the NFL, until they do right by people who are oppressed, until they do right by women, until they do right by the players, until they do right by the coaches, they will not prosper at the level that the NBA is on a trajectory. Now, is that going to say that the NBA is going to overtake the NFL anytime soon in revenue and views and all that? No. But if you ask a fan of both the NBA and the NFL which one is more enjoyable on a night in, night out basis, I promise you, you will get a more mixed reaction and more mixed emotions than you would have probably 2 years ago. Because you're seeing, man, Thursday night football is damn near unwatchable. I don't watch that shit. I mean, it's just getting bad. Monday night, I didn't even watch the game last night. I mean, I have no desire to see that game. But I want to see what the Warriors are doing. I want to see what Karl Anthony Towns does. I want to see what Joel Embiid does. I want to see what Damian Lillard. I want to see what AD does. I want to see what Kawhi Leonard does. I want to see what James Harden does. So many storylines, so many like juicy, like, you know, just stats to dive into. It's amazing right now, man. And the international pool, we're not even going to get into that. The talent is getting more diverse. You got Porzingis, like. NFL, on a money standpoint, obviously it's going to be just the supreme. But in terms of just enjoyability, hoops doesn't stop, man. It doesn't stop.
I love Embiid, man, and I was telling Embiid this.
I tell y'all.
And you know we can go ahead and get ready to close it out. But what I loved about him, outside of just his game, was his attitude. Because when they lost that game and they were in it, and I think he had scored the game-time bucket, and he hated the fact that they lost. And you can tell that it seems like the team rallies behind him. Like he has a presence and he brings some energy and excitement to that organization, like hope. And they went from we're just going to go out here and play for a check to now we're going to go out here and play to win. And I haven't seen that in Philly in the last couple of years, and we know it was part of the process. But it's amazing to see the impact one player can have on an organization, even if wins will be difficult to come by. Because he's basically telling them and instilling with them, it feels like to me, is that, yo, we need to go out here and play to win, and we can win games. We're not terrible. That the record may not reflect it, but you guys say it all the time, man. Confidence is huge when you're stepping on the court. But he brings an attitude, man, and I like that. And I can't wait until Ben Simmons can come back, and I hope they don't put it down. He wants to come back.
That's why I mean, you know, can I just read you Embiid's per 36? He plays 20 minutes, right? Okay. His per 36, if he played 36, he projects to score 29.9 points, 10.9 boards, 2.3 dimes, 4.6 blocks, and shooting a 9.8 out of 21.2 field goal percentage of 45.9%. Now, that is without Ben Simmons. That's without Jared Bayless. We're missing two vital starters, and he just dropped 18 and 10. Saric just dropped 21 points, and we lost on some dumb flagrant foul by our third-string point guard, right? The reason why Embiid is the future, man, is because Embiid has things that I don't even see things. I see things in Embiid that Karl Towns doesn't have. And Towns is great. He's an incredible player. But Towns don't got that face-up game the same way Embiid does. Towns don't got the post game that Embiid does. And they're probably about the same in terms of defense and, agility and quickness. But the fact that Karl's was like 6'11" and Embiid is 7'2", 260, and he moves his feet and he was guarding John Wall at the perimeter, stop it. That's unfair, man. Like, that's literally unfair. And when we get Ben Simmons back and Ben Simmons runs that floor, it's Lob City all day.
Look. First and foremost, I want to say I was early on Joel Embiid. So all y'all mugs that was questioning, well, you look, man. Joel has a lot of stuff. Okay, I'm not even look. Y'all got me over here rambling. When I evaluate basketball talent, what makes the hair on my arm stand up is when players have attributes that you simply cannot coach or teach. How nimble Joel Embiid is, you cannot teach that. How light on his feet that he is, you can't teach that. The touch that he has, and I would trust me. I know I see Ken shaking his head. I was saying it. The touch he has, you cannot coach the touch that he has. His footwork. Yes, you can coach footwork, but you can't coach natural footwork. He has natural footwork. You know what I'm saying? He is an open canvas to add on other skills and attributes. Mm-hmm. That's what Joel Embiid is. Now, Q, when you were comparing Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid, they do have slight nuances. Mm-hmm. I'll take either one because it really don't matter. They're both super athletic. Joel's a little bit more athletic than Karl Anthony Towns. Joel also, to me, has a little bit better of an overall back to the basket game. But I think the biggest factor that Karl Towns has over Joel, and Joel will never, ever, ever, you heard it here first, ever, ever be able to do, is Karl Anthony Towns passing. And because of that, I'll take Karl Anthony. If you told me I had to pick one or the other right now today, I'll take Karl Anthony Towns. As much as I love Joel Embiid, you can't go wrong. But the passing aspect is what separates those two guys from me. And that's why I would take them. Because they both can hit threes. They both got face-up game. They both got post game. They both have pretty much what the other one has. Mm-hmm. But how Karl can pass, that is something that you cannot teach, especially at that size. So that's why I would take them over. But, man, the NBA Q, you're 100% right. The product is just so much better now. And we've seen transitions, of this point guard era. We're starting to get a big man era. And these guys are way more ready to contribute at a younger age. Remember when the whole high school phenomenon thing of guys trying to get into the league out of high school? A lot of those guys weren't. What was that, Ken?
Eddie Curry, Tyson Chandler.
Eddie Curry. A lot of, and we're not even naming the guys that flamed out because Eddie Curry had a decent career, then he flamed out. Tyson Chandler's still in the league. But what about the Darius Miles of the world?
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I was betting with him.
So these guys are just more ready. And anybody that says, oh, well, it's because of the year of college. Get the hell up out of here. It's not because of the year of college. It's because these kids are now trained from a younger age. They're developed more at a younger age. So when they are more physically ready to compete, they're more ready to play in the NBA. And that's why I say, like the Wiggins, the Karl Anthony Towns of the world, they don't need college. To me, college for some of these guys, like Jabari Parker, is a hindrance. because they are not able to display their athletic ability. They're not able to get into the lane, be able to have the lanes, passing lanes. Just
college is terrible, man.
College is not helping these kids. It's hurting these kids. Ben Simmons did not need college basketball. He needs the NBA game to develop. Derrick Rose did not need college basketball. He needed the NBA to develop. And I think that we need to honestly revisit this whole college thing. Now,
what do you think about D-League?
I think that, okay, I think the NBA should make it mandatory for every NBA team to have at least one D-League affiliate. I think that they need a true minor league system. I've been saying this for years because you have to be able to develop the talent that is not ready to contribute year one, regardless of the age, right? Because the one good thing that the college rule did is filter out the guys that aren't ready to play NBA basketball. Case in point, the twins that played at Kentucky. Right? Like only one of them got drafted. I think only one of them is in the league now.
The Harrison twins.
Yeah, the Harrison twins. Those guys were so highly touted coming out of high school, they would have been first-round draft picks in the lottery. And that would have set whatever franchise back multiple years. You know, so there is another side of it. But instead of imposing that, then what I think is that you need to truly have a farm system, a true developmental league for those guys that you may have drafted early or taken a risk on, and damn, they're not what I thought they were. You need to go over here, you know. So there's always two sides to every story, man. But I forgot where the hell we started.
No, we were talking about how basically Joel and Carl didn't really need college, but I think the thing is, FIFO, I remember Joel, and this will probably excite Ken. Joel, when he got drafted, he was talking about Olajuwon, how he just watched film of him all day long. And he talked about how Dream reached out to him and said, anytime you ready, just come down to Houston. Now, when you bring up Carl's passing, I think if we're just talking about if we're talking about passing, yeah, I'll give him the edge. But I think coupled with Simmons, I don't think that Embiid needs to be the incredible passer that Carl just naturally is. I think Embiid creates a lot more looks than Carl could, you know what I'm saying? And I think Embiid could feast just off of Ben's passing talents, you know.
Of course. Agreed. But that's the reason why I said, like, if I had to start a franchise, right, today, and you give me my choice out of every player in the NBA, right? Like, I'm starting it with Cat because Cat doesn't require a point guard or a facilitator to get him the rock. You see what I'm saying? Like, Embiid is a true center. To me, Karl Towns is a four that can play five. So with Karl, to me, like I don't need an elite wing for us to be great. With Embiid, he needs a wing guy, point guard, or Ben Simmons type for that team to reach certain levels. Well, with Cat, you don't need that. You don't need. You can pair him up with an Embiid or another big man because of his passing ability. He's the one that can facilitate things for an offense. So that's the only caveat. Both of them great. It just comes down to philosophy in terms of building a squad. Everybody's going to have a different philosophy.
All right, well, that's going to do it. We're going to go ahead and end on that note. Thank you guys for tuning in, subscribing, sharing the show, following us on all the socials. It's at Dead End Sports everywhere. Whatever social you're on, you can follow us on that. And hit us up on our personal at FIFO247. That's the numbers 247. At Q Got No Rings, and I'm at KB Inge, KBINGE. And I am going to go watch the rest of this World Series and probably fall asleep. So we'll holler at you guys next week. We out. Peace.